Hello everybody, this is ZigZagZog coming to you from my new home location, and we're back to continue Empire Total War featuring Darthmod and the 40 unit save version. And we got some fun stuff ahead of us this episode, I do believe. We got our force that we've moved down towards Paris. We have a blocking force against his army that moved out of Paris. And before I get over to before I hit the next turn, because that's what's ahead of us, there's one thing I'm going to do, and that is move. We got a gentleman in Flanders that I forgot to move out. At the moment, I'm just going to temporarily move him to, I believe it, yeah, I'm not sure how to pronounce this city, unfortunately. Sorry for those of you in Belgium or whatever, but I don't know how to say Ghent, but that's where he's going. And we're going to head him over there just because that has our highest time frame for research. I might as well get the second gentleman there, and it is an important one, those measuring tools to upgrade our roads and help our income. So we'll get him over there. And then we are going to have a next turn, which we will cycle through, and I have a feeling we will be stopping in the Upper Louisiana Territory for a battle as the Iroquois move to approach us, and also we may have a battle down here if the French army decides they need to skedaddle on back to Paris. So one of those two or both may happen on this turn as I hit the button. So we'll see you on the other side depending on what happens. All right, we made it through the turn without having to stop for a battle, and that purely because of this that popped up right here. This city has come under siege from the forces of your enemies, and we'll go take a peek. We can see the Iroquois sieged us instead of outright attacking us. So what does it tell us? We have one turn until surrender, so guess what? We will be heading out from there. In fact, since we only can't maintain against the siege and our reinforcing army, I don't think... Oh, guess what? We can get close enough to make this a no-brainer. And guess what? If I can make a battle a no-brainer, I'm gonna make the battle a no-brainer. I think this should get us in reinforcement range, and we can head on out of Upper Louisiana. So our reinforcements did barely arrive in the nick of time. So let's get everybody chosen, and fortunately only about 4 regiments haven't been fully healed yet. So we'll be in very good shape, I do believe, against Iroquois. Let's see if they decide to retreat with overwhelming forces facing them. Let's find out. Oh, even with that, isn't that amazing? We outnumber them, what, 5,500 in that neighborhood, 5,400 against their 4,000. So they are telling us that the native forces are superior, and we are about to find out. So meet you on the battlefield. All right, wide open battlefield for the most part. Some undulating hills. Yeah, there's undulating hills, all right. So but we have sight of his zone anywhere in front of that hill line, so that's plenty of range. I think what we'll do, we have the mortars. That's where the extra unit is from. We get to deal with the deadly crushing mortars. So let's do this. Let's get our regiment to foot, keep it where it is. We'll bring one of the artillery pieces over here to set up. We'll bring the other artillery piece on this side to set up. Let's unlimber them. And in the background, we will bring the mortars. And since we have an excess of melee units that could decide to charge against either side of our batteries, we're going to keep the pikemen right in reserve in the middle, in the center. The nice thing you'll notice is we do now officially have the canister shot, which we can toggle to if they close in on our cannon. So that's a big upgrade for us. We'll put 3 regiments over on this side. How many regiments we got left? 1, 2, And a 3. What do you know? We're gonna have a balanced line, the kind I like. You'll always see me. Well, unless the terrain dictates. I just have that sense of symmetry that I like. We'll get one cavalry over on that flank. We'll get the other cavalry to help us out on this flank. And since they aren't grouped together, we will just keep them with their ability to fire. If I end up teaming them up to chase down units, we'll change to just melee mode. That's the only thing is you probably noticed in prior battles, a mounted tribal auxiliary, when you group them, like if I had both on this side, they do not coordinate well together. So I tend to, when I use them in groups, to take them off fire at will and just go with the melee mode on them. But here we don't have to. Let's hope they don't play games with us. Let's hope they cooperate. Let's get this battle going. And early sight is of the chief's bodyguard. And we're taking fire early. And he's heading off to that flank, so I think what we will do is, just so we don't get overpowered, we'll get some extra forces off to that flank too. Whoops. Not so fast. Oh, I ended up putting both. Isn't that funny? In my setup, I didn't even notice. I ended up putting both cavalry units on the same side, thinking I had separated them. Well, what we're probably going to have to do here, folks, is go looking for some combatants out here, because... and we'll make that the job of the cavalry. And then that'll give us an indication of how we might want to move our infantry off the line. Up, there we go. We got some warriors right up center. And they're ahead of that ridge line. Let's focus artillery there. And while we're at it, let's kind of put out some feelers with... oh, they're coming, they're coming. They're starting to appear strong as they enclose with us. Let's go keep some cavalry off to the side just to make sure we aren't getting some sneaky hidden flanks coming up. But the natives are cooperating with a good old-fashioned land battle. They're enclosing. Let's get our pikemen out there for some hand-to-hand. Keep them away from artillery units. In fact, let's hold on. Change to canister there. And fire there. We're driving off the first wave, but they'll be back. I'm waiting to see them enclose. For some hand-to-hand, but it hasn't happened yet. We've driven them off. Switch back to long-range fire. They don't like our pikemen, do they? They do not like the pikemen. What happened here? Heroic death? Who is messing around with our tribal auxiliary somewhere? Ah, on the flank, I've lost track. And we are coming in for some hand-to-hand over on our flank, and they drove us off. In fact, we are going to get in here on melee quickly on the flank. See how well we handle them, and in the meantime, oh, my pikemen have failed now. They came back and slaughtered them hand to hand. Oh, our reinforcements are arriving though. And there is where we need to send them. And our first unit of artillery has been driven off. So I lost track of our reinforcements coming in. Let's take you over here, and since we're enclosing, let's get you in. So ugly, we've lost our artillery advantage. Fortunate for the mortars, we have them still. We gotta get our cavalry out of here, come on. Well, I guess we're gonna hand battle on the front. They are hand-to-handing all over the place. We are going melee everywhere, just about. And we're just gonna come out and charge with this unit, because they have found that horse cavalry unit. And as our reinforcements are arriving, none too soon, this seems to be the side where we need them the most. In fact, we'll run them over there just to have some quick reinforcements off on the left. But hand-to-hand wise, overall, we're holding up. Fortunately, we have the ability to toggle in and toggle out. How are we holding up over here? Which one is giving me problem? It's the regiment of horse that's fallen off, and it's now leaving us hand-to-hand again over here on our own. We're going to move out even more closer, provide the support. When we get you back on the artillery, does it matter? Oh, you wait, let's get you there. And it's the other unit. Oh, that's all part of it. And this one is surrendering. Okay. So we'll get some artillery units back. And what have we got here? Our mounted tribal auxiliary is running them down en masse. We probably want to pull the rest of our units out of here that are handling melee, just so they don't get caught in the crossfire. Run them down with our remaining cavalry here. And the reinforcements arrived just in time, because that hand-to-hand combat was deadly for us. Get away from their guys who have rallied. Halt. Coming in for the charge. Do we get enough shots off at them? It doesn't matter. We're going to support melee. bowmen in the back are coming after us. Except it's my experience, if we have enough... Well, they disappeared, they went hiding, but let's see if we can go find them. It's my experience, we can charge the bowmen. They're susceptible to the charge. And that's just what we're going to try. They're already running. Run, run, run. Now I'm thinking with what's left on the field, I need to silence the artillery at this point. We have the upper hand now, and we don't need even more friendly fire. Let's rush in there. We got some more cavalry here that needs to help us out. Our cavalry here is having a hard time engaging over here. At least visually. Come on, guys, engage, engage. They're shaken. They're very tired because they've been running around chasing us. And what have we got here? The chief's bodyguard. Maybe with that one long-range artillery piece that we do have, we just stay focused on the general's bodyguard. And we finally broke the bowman. And the general's bodyguard has fled. And the battle has ended. Alright, so what I'm planning to do is run down now the remaining forces as we continue the battle, since they will have the ability to retreat out of this battle. So I want to try and inflict as many casualties as I can. I won't make you watch all that part. We'll come back and see what kind of victory we obtained. I kind of guess in the process of running these guys down, I think I'm expecting maybe more of a close victory because there are some casualties on the field, and that hand-to-hand battling really caused us some casualties. Look at that, 144 out of 289. So my prediction is more of a close victory on this one. And I called it. Just looking at the casualties on the field, this was a close victory. And while I'm gonna think I could have done it without the reinforcements, it would not have been easy at all. Especially having lost track of the left flank a little bit, having them just pop up out of hiding and taking me by surprise. So that's the advantage that the Native Americans have in this kind of battle, is being able to kind of pop up and catch you by surprise, and they sure did over here on the bloody left flank. Okay, casualty wise, okay, we're not as bad overall numbers as we just lost a lot. Let's face it. We did see a mounted tribal auxiliary pikemen. They definitely got some promotions there. They helped fight off in the center, but yet they were fighting off in the center, and yet the natives were still able to reappear, sneak up close in the center and take out one permanently, my artillery unit in the center. The other one was able to regroup and come back. So we had some hard-fought battles out there, some hard-fought battles. And we drove him off for now. I think what we're going to have to do at this point, let's kind of take a look at their territory. It looks like the Iroquois are to the north. In fact, since they declared war on us, it kind of makes it so we drive north through their territories now, perhaps, in order to get up to the remaining French-held territories. So we're going to drive north the bloody way and see if we can hit the French in the north that way. Originally, I was thinking, well, we'll take our ships, our navy up north and surprise the French that way. Well, we'll just do the slow slog up north through Iroquois territory. The only disadvantage to that is I may feel it necessary to create another small force down here just in case some country decides on landing on one of our islands down here. So hopefully we can generate the funds necessary to be able to make that happen. I don't think you have movement left. Nah, not enough left. But what we are going to do is heal who is here. Costly 1273 just for that unit. In fact, let's get everybody going. And yeah, I don't even know now. We don't have enough to even fully heal one of our artillery regiments. So that's definitely an expensive battle for us. Let's continue going through the notes from the turn end, and then we're going to head back to Paris and see what happened there. And one thing that I do want to make comment on that I didn't give you vision of, the French army we thought might move back to reinforce Paris kept continuing on to its objective, and I'm guessing in the direction it was heading. I believe France is at war. In fact, let's just find out. They're at war with several. I was thinking he might be headed to Austria, but look, he's at war with the world right now. So he could have been heading, is there something down in, yeah, he could have been heading down towards Venice or Savoy or Genoa, because he was heading more down in that direction. So there you go. He decided not to come back and protect Paris, which hopefully we can take advantage of. Hopefully we can take advantage of. The election results, that's going to draw us back in. The hustings are over following a free and fair election. The current cabinet has regained control of the government, so that's good for us. What else do we have? Successful mission. Our agent is still in Paris. Yes, he is. And the free and fair election, let's just make sure ministers haven't done any quick shuffle on us. They're all looking good. They're getting some great levels of experience up here. I wonder, did we get some traits gained? Oh, we're losing zeal for our our missionary in India. Poor guy. Poor guy. We've been overworking him. And who did we lose from natural causes? A general, Christian van Waldeck. Oh, down here. But it says natural causes, so we did not lose him in the battle. That battle just was his last hurrah. So one thing we'll have to do down here is next turn when we have the funds, we're going to have to recruit another general because we have none in either army. One of our last remaining of the original generals. So let's get over here. We got some great upgrades here. The college in Den Haag in the Netherlands is upgraded, so we got lots of things going on. And at least we got a couple more line infantry down in Lower Louisiana. Maybe we keep that force down here as our mobile Caribbean force, and then we just take the remaining forces we have north. We're going to find out. We could run into some full stacks, and then in that instance, I'll feel less than sufficient. If we run into something too massive up here, we will retreat and reinforce. But that's our initial plan here. Let's just go find out where some fleets have arrived, and that's down here in Brazil. And I guess we're going to send one of them out. So we send one of the flutes out and see. There might be a French Navy in one of these naval nodes now, so we're going to find out. But with just one. And we found the French right away. And we don't have the force to be able to deal with the French down here, so I think what we will do with our forces here is we're just going to have to say, sorry, Brazil, we're going to lose you. And we'll have to try and make up for some of these losses down here with upgrading our plantations temporarily. And yeah, we're just gonna have to give up the coast of Brazil because of the French. And let's head back out to the Americas and keep the fleet where we can use them. Same with the flutes. We'll save them for another day, and hopefully we can regain some of these down the road. And there we go. Let's get up to Paris. Let's see if we can't have ourselves a little fun up here. In fact, with their force moving away, the garrison alone outnumbers us, but since we didn't have to use our blocking force over here with this army, we can bring them, perhaps they can reach to reinforce or help out with the Battle of Paris. Let's see about that. Well, we can't quite get them there, but we can get them close. I wonder if they will be able to reinforce from this distance. I'm thinking yes. Let's get our main force over here to start the siege. We're going to find out when we do siege if they're counted with our force, and then we'll make the determination if we should attack now or later. So 2 regiments of mortar, or the mortar garrisons. Well, of course, they aren't going to surrender, right? Yes, of course. We do outnumber them tremendously. However, they have walls that we need to bust open. We do have the artillery pieces to do that. It's going to be a challenge of a battle, I'm sure. We're looking at mostly garrison line infantry, though, so I should think we would be able to handle that. So we're going to go ahead and have our second battle for this episode. It's going to be a big one and a very important one as we move to take Paris. What a fatal blow this would be to the French. So we'll see you back on the battlefield. All right, we are back on the map for the Battle of Paris. And we kind of wrap around the fort, and I'm going to guess that just based on the positions on the map that our reinforcements maybe will come in over on this side or this side. We'll see if the map has any bearing on where the reinforcements show up. I think it usually does. We have 3 regiments of artillery, and I'm thinking what we're going to do is kind of split them up a little. I'm thinking we'll have 1 unit hopefully being able to punch through wall issues there. We'll have another unit working on wall issues there, and we're going to have another unit. Now these may get pelted and bombarded by the mortars. We're going to find out, and hopefully we can get enough blasting done before the mortars are able to zero in on our artillery pieces. And then ideally I'd like to be able to get something on the opposite side. And can I do it from a set position starting here? I think I should be able to. And the plan is to try and breach some openings on multiple sides of their building. Let's get them all unlimbered here and ready. So that's how we'll start the battle, is targeting 3 wall positions. We'll see if they hold up or not versus mortars. At the same time, we're going to spread some units around. There's no way 2 regiments of mortar alone are going to be able to do anything to us. I think what we'll do, though, is we'll park the cavalry that we do have as far distant as we can, because right away they're going to be of no use to us until we punch some holes in those walls. So in fact, we'll get the cavalry spread on either side over here, just depending, so they're ready and available depending on where we punch a hole through. There we go. Beyond that, your thinking is as good as mine. Potentially, oh, we probably want to get our general kind of out of range with one of these units too. I don't think he can. General can actually hide in a forest, so we might as well put him back with this one that will not be hidden, instead of drawing fire towards the hidden cavalry units. Let's see, these 3 regiments of foot over here, I'm thinking let's bring them all the way over here just to provide some distractions, because if the mortars, ultimately if the mortars, I think, are, and they're going to have their regiments off, we're going to make the line as thin as possible so the cannon fire from the wall does not kill us all at once. Jeez, 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 so many units. So many units. Let's see, what else can we put out? I don't necessarily want to go full frontal here till we got some holes. I'm using these forces as a distraction, so that's why they're up close. But I'm hesitant to put everybody up close until we have some holes in the wall. The distraction force will be my reinforcements. Let's see if we can't just line up all these forces on the back. I want to have some units available up close just to provide, I mean, we got to have some thin line, thin as line as possible. We got to have some units up to draw fire from the mortars so they don't solely focus on our artillery pieces, so they have an opportunity perhaps punch a hole through the wall. I wonder if this unit will have some protection being in the gully down here, but I have a feeling they can probably fire over any undulations in the terrain. We're going to bring this whole line here off to the other side. In fact, we will join it with those units. So I guess in a sense I'm sacrificing some of my regiments for what we're going to gain, for what they're going to take. Let's see, how about right here? How long can we stretch these guys to make their damage from artillery as little as possible? That's my thinking, at least. And then the remaining regiments are kind of just scattered about. There's 2 units up here. Oh, one is the cannon. We don't need to be... So we got another one in the gully over here. We'll see if that makes a difference. And then we're going to have this one kind of taking some target... or having them take some target shots there. And then once we get holes punched through the walls, that's when all heck breaks loose. And then we're going to find out where in the back here our reinforcements arrive from. And I can't remember. Now, I should have paid more attention to the units who had what, but we may have even another artillery piece potentially coming in wherever the reinforcements show up. All right. I guess this is how we are going to go. This is how we are going to start. Let's get centered on an artillery piece so we can start aiming at the walls that we want. And we'll find out if everybody of theirs is crammed inside. That's almost to our benefit, I guess, with artillery, because they'll be taking damage from our own artillery pieces as we go shooting at the walls. So that's our benefit there, I guess. But let's get it going and let's start the battle. And they are all crammed in there. Okay, you're going to aim right there. And you are going to aim right there. We got their artillery pieces firing at us. Yes, they are. They're going long distance. Hopefully we're over the hill enough. Do we have a sense of where... Uh-oh, what's back here? What is back here? Oh, they have reinforcements too coming in. Time to face around quickly and take these guys on. General's bodyguard, maybe, just maybe, will have you get out of the way here. And so we got some early surprises with their reinforcements, not our reinforcements. We can always charge with our cavalry. And as soon as they are in, we should be opening fire, I hope. Point blank, practically. Let's go, guys. And it's just militia, so they shouldn't hold up for long. Let's get our cavalry charging. We'll put you in melee stance. Okay, they're running away fast. They're running away hard, so we're preventing any reinforcements from coming in. In fact, we don't even need the cavalry now because they've retreated. We'll get ready, rinse, and repeat for round number 2. And then we'll go back out here and see where our casualties are taking place from their wall batteries. So I even forgot, they did have some scattered units within the vicinity. Let's get you back off melee and firing again. And here we go. This is a regiment of foot. I believe this is one of the weakened ones from the battle in Flanders that had been parked nearby. Shall we charge on in? Just get this over quick so we can refocus on the fort. Because they will not break quite as quickly as the militia, so we need a nice little charge in the rear. Make that happen. And we will stop firing now. Let the cavalry finish it up. Now hopefully it was just those 2 units. Should be it that we had to worry about. We'll get ourselves repositioned as we originally planned. And I see no other reinforcements entering the field. So does that mean we really were? Did we have all the forces to start? I don't think, but we definitely got them off the walls here. 72%, 63%. So while we were doing that little preventing of the reinforcements, we got the wall damage going pretty well. Our artillery is holding up very well also, and we're not seeing too extreme of damage from a distance on their wall pieces. So cavalry units will be getting ready for the breach in the walls. And then once we get the walls to go down, we will focus on just what you saw there. Firing inside to those mortars, and we do have some high ground to help us get over the walls and make that even more possible. We've taken out 1 mortar piece there. The walls are at 85%, ready to fall at any time on this side. So actually the units I brought back here to do as a feint are going will be going into where they're massed up the most, so we may just hold him back and continue our focus on the front walls instead. We're going to keep... Okay, we are down on this side, so this piece of artillery is now going to be focusing on some mortars on the interior. As soon as this wall goes down, we'll do the same there. And then when this side goes down, so I think it's safe to start pushing some units forward. Just one towards the wall that they are vacating. And there there's our early feints going on. Is he gonna totally try giving up the wall or not? I don't know. We're at 63% through on this side. So maybe what we do is kind of bring our forces over here. Kind of keep as many of those units occupied on the wall. Maybe bring them over here. And our big, massive line of infantry along the far back, we got them ready to move forward. We're going to bring them forward too. Because this is where they'll have, at least for our approach, our well-being on this approach, this is where we will have the least amount of resistance. And it's nice of them to bunch up inside now that we are going to be focusing on their mortars. Because we'll get collateral damage, ideally, on some other units that are parked all around the mortars. And once this wall goes down at 95, I'm going to be focusing where, if we're lucky, we got units trapped. So I'm going to focus yet on another wall just to get the resistance on this side of the fort messed up, so we can start making some moves of our own to see if we can't breach those walls and gain the interior. In fact, I'm almost thinking we need to bring these guys forward too. Within range of the walls, but maybe biggest portion of them in the forest. So other than the mortars firing at us right now, we are advancing somewhat unmolested. We aren't doing much damage on the mortars. Okay, that wall is down. It's time to focus on this wall. And some of these units up here, take it to them. I'm going to hold off on bringing the cavalry forward quite yet. And he is taking cannon positions on the remaining wall there. But that will cost him after a while with the artillery we have brought to bear on this wall. He won't be able to stay there for forever. In fact, let's run up, gain some firing positions. Against those troops. They're firing down on us now. I don't know how long we can hold up against such fire. Not running our soldiers forward a lot. Haven't taken a lot of hits over here. One regiment has been taking the brunt of the attack. But it seems to be locking up a fair amount of the garrison over here, and we've already lost one from the wall fire. So if we can keep them occupied somewhat when that wall starts hurting. Ooh, mortar shots coming out here against us, though. And that's how the mortars kill the morale. Are they coming out through one of the breaches? I am fine to meet with that challenge. We're taking the brunt of the mortar fire there. I'm fine to kind of delay and have him focus his mortars on just a few isolated units, ideally, as everybody else moves into position. Yeah, and as that wall takes more hits, that's going to end this resistance on this side, and we're just going to have to deal with the mortars all of a sudden. He's wavering, but we got more troops moving up. That kind of gave him a backbone. we've stiffened up their resistance a little bit. See how long that regiment of militia holds up. The walls are getting close to 50%. That's when we're going to start seeing them crumble. And are my own artillery pieces doing any kind of damage? One more casualty, but we're not taking out any more guns. So really not penetrating. Okay, our regiments are mostly arriving, getting ready for the big assault coming up. And they're going to be able to take cannon against us. Support and see if we can't get rid of this militia garrison fighting outside the walls right now. And this is where you can see why we don't like fork battles. You can already see some of the stuttering that happens on some of these battles if they get too large. With this, we're 69%. We're doing damage to them up here, but we need to get this wall needs to come down because they're peppering us pretty good. See if we can't gain some fire into the interior here. We have broken their garrison over here. Taking it to the wall. What are we up to now? 82%, and he is just holding on tight here, so when that wall collapses, if he doesn't move, we're going to bring some units in closer. Yet they're not going to be on the wall forever. Let's hope those mortars aren't going to be firing at us like this forever. And there the walls have come down. Reacting to our breach on this side. We're going to take a regiment through the breach on this side. Ooh! They decided to be tough and come back at us. That lone little militia garrison. It's time for us to start punching through. This corner is getting safer other than mortar fire to come through. You can see with the mortar fire how devastating it can be. Well, maybe that building was in the way, and now that the building is out of the way, some of our fire will. Time for some hand-to-hand combat here. Fight our way in. Charge on in, guys. And now it's time for some cavalry to come forward, I do believe. Big brawl to get inside. Big brawl coming up. They're coming down off the walls now. Now's our opportunity. Let's take all sides. We still have units in reserve. Time to move them up because we are going to take it to the mortars now. One massive brawl in the interior. Still can't punch through to the mortars that are still doing damage to us. Let's halt the cannon. Let's see if we can't get more into the interior. And we need our cavalry up now. Lots of breaking units. Time to take some walls on the back side and start relieving some pressure. Because just busting through as a mob is not working. Or at least, it's hard to tell. How about that? It's hard to tell if it's working. Let's take some walls from behind. Start relieving some pressure here. I'm hearing less pop of mortar fire. Now the counter, the meters seem to say that we're winning. If you look down here, we're winning the melee battle. It's just hard to tell right now. Let's get up on the walls, guys. We need you up on the walls so you can react, so you can shoot. Any French flags that we can get wavering are a good thing. We're just going to keep trying to punch through, keeping them busy down there. So we can come down on our own. Here we got some cavalry coming in. I don't know if this is the best use for cavalry, but as far as hand-to-hand combat, I felt like I wanted them in there. This is all hands on deck is what this is. Come on, guys, come down the walls, come down the walls. I want to silence these mortars. Once and for all. let's just get you to auto fire that way. Do we have the mortars taken care of yet? Not quite. Just a closing hand to hand, and now we'll take some shots in their rear, and hopefully that will start swaying them. Mortars are not quite done yet. Enemy general has been killed. He was part of that mortar group, and he is gone. One mortar, one artillery garrison member. Okay, guys, it's time for us to reform now. Take off melee and start getting this done. Timer's now working in our favor. The general being dead has to be working in our favor. Let's get ourselves lined up. We need the fire in their rear because the hand-to-hand is not fun. We're going to have severe losses, but it'll be worth it to take over Paris. Let's see if we have the ability to salvage and withdraw any of our cavalry. Oh, and my general himself is in there. I accidentally, in all that, got him involved a little closer than I would have preferred. So let's hope we don't lose our general. It's awkward getting these lines set up inside the building here, but we're going to do it and get this fire started on their rear and end this battle. There we go. End this hand-to-hand mayhem that we have going right now. One way or another, surrender or timer. It's looking like we have this in hand. It would be nice to get the general retreated. Can you withdraw from combat, General Sir? We have another death on our hands. 1 second, boom, we better have this in hand now. The timer is ours. And there we go. Victory! Let's end this carnage now. And it's a heroic victory as we take over Paris and payback for the French and what they did to us. Down in the coast of Brazil, down with their surprise attack in the Caribbean. Retribution. All right, there we go. We lost a third of our force, but guess what, guys? We have Paris, and we somehow survived with a general. There you go. Excuse me. There we go. What do we got here? Trait gained, +1 morale in battle for our general. In fact, let's see if we can't take a look at this general. He has gained his first character trait of his mediocre career up until now, and he is known. Dirk Verbeek is now the commander who took Paris. How about that? We never had our reinforcements enter the battle. There you go. Region captured. And that is going to be the end of France. What I want to find out now, what happens to their territories elsewhere? That's what I want to find out. C'est la vie. A new nation arises. There we go. Quebec. Is that where New France is back over here? Upper Canada at war. I don't know what all these territories mean. Acadia. So we have New France is all that's happened here. The rest are just kind of New France. Oh, it's Iroquois territory? No. Oh well, we'll look at this closer next time. But France is no more. We now have New France in Quebec. And because of the length of the battles, I'm thinking at this point is probably we'll kind of clean up with the mess. We aren't going to be able to afford any repairs, I guess you might say. Some re-recruitment of our forces in Paris this turn. But we'll pick up the loose ends next time. And then we'll come back and move forward, continue moving forward, both against the Iroquois and Sweden. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention. Just sitting here, I saw the Swedish flag. They only sent one ship down to Great Britain to attack the port there. What we may do is, since we have a fleet that can handle it, next time is send out to assist our ally over here and see if we can't take care of open up their port. Make them appreciate us even more. But anyway, I hope y'all had fun. We had two of the bigger battles so far in this episode, or this playthrough, not episode. Of course they were the biggest for the episode. But we had two of the biggest battles for this playthrough. I hope you enjoyed them, even though it was kind of carnage. I much prefer open field battles. But we came through. We made it happen. I hope you're excited about that too. And this is ZigZagZog signing off from my new home. One of these days I'll let you know where I'm at. And do me a favor, hit me a like, subscribe if you haven't subscribed so you don't miss any more battles that'll be upcoming. And I sure do appreciate it. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought. Is there any way around that carnage that we just experienced that you've utilized in your own battles? Share it with me and the rest of the viewers. Let us know. And once again, I really do appreciate y'all watching, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks so much.